Hello and welcome back to Toy Thursday with Johnny Tiger. On Thursday, December 30, 2021, we got one day to go before we say an official goodbye to 2021. Well, official in the Western world for those of us who celebrate Chinese New Year. We got another month to go yet. But anyway, I never complain about celebrating New Year twice. And this year, I get to celebrate New Year with Kitten, which make it even more fun, more special. So now that we got the Christmas behind us and we got Krampus behind us, it is time to return to our regularly scheduled program, which is Grandpas That Throw Down, aka Grandpas That Kick Ass, aka Grandpas that are just really, really cool and hardcore and crazy. This week we got yet another uh, really, really badass old man for everyone's viewing pleasure. Another old character, and in this case, it's even a double whammy. You see, when this character was debuted in Attack of the Clones Star Wars movie. It was played by Christopher Lee. And Christopher Lee, when he played this character, was already 80 years old. And even though he had to get a stuntman to do a lot of the dancing and jumping and leaping and all that fancy move for him, he still did a lot of the basic sword fighting himself. This 80-year-old Christopher Lee. So the actor who played the character is a really hardcore grandpa in his own right, and it's no surprise that the character turned out to be really, really impressively hardcore, although very evil grandpa in the Star Wars universe. Let me introduce you to none other than Count Dooku, aka Darth Tyranus. I'll admit, on the outset, Count Dooku doesn't look like much. I mean, look at him. He's essentially a bearded old man with a mostly brown outfit and a lighter colored cape around his shoulder. He is neither tall and muscular or clad in some fancy set of clothes. He is an old guy in a brown outfit. Now, in his official stories, they made him sound a little bit more impressive. Supposedly his boots are made of rancor skin. Those of you that don't know Star Wars, rancors are these alien monster things that are really scary. So imagine if someone here on Earth was to wear shoes made out of, I don't know, the skin of some giant crocodile or something like that. So rancor skin boots and his cape was said to be made of something called armor weave. So I guess they're like Kevlar or some Star Wars equivalent of Kevlar. But honestly, here on the action figure, it's just brown, 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 and more brown, which is kind of interesting because for most of his appearance in the movie, he's wearing black. The only time we see him wear brown was during the Clone War animated Star Wars series, so maybe that's what they were going for here. But regardless, he is an old guy wearing brown, and he looks a little bit ordinary, a little bit boring, although his uh, face definitely looked kind of imperious and arrogant and uh, uh, just full of the personality that defined Count Dooku as a character. So, why is this rather ordinary looking old guy uh, deserving of the title of being one of the grandpas of Throwdown? Well, let me tell you the story of Count Dooku. Growing up on the planet called Serrano, Count Dooku grew up in a noble family. But rather than taking over the title of the Count himself, he decided to serve the people by joining the Jedi Order. For those of you who are not up to date on your Star Wars, Jedi is basically like the ultimate good guy, the good, like the knights in shiny armor, the good ninja, uh, the superhuman that defend the good people. So Count Dooku went and joined the Jedi Order and became apprentice to Jedi Master Yoda. Most of us know Yoda, the little guy who trained Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars when Luke went to this swampy planet to look for him. And Yoda, by that time, is really, really old and he really doesn't look like much. But Yoda, keep in mind, is one of the oldest Grandmaster in the Jedi Order, and Yoda is also one of the best sword fighter, best well duelist, best swordsman, best Force user in the Jedi Order. What is a Force user? Well, in the when you become a Jedi, they teach you how to use a lightsaber, these plasma or laser-bladed swords, and also they teach you how to use your well, you should put it in Chinese term, like you use your chi. The Force is a life force all around you, and you can channel your magic, your power through, and do some amazing things, some superhuman things. That's what makes the Jedi so amazing, is their swordsmanship and their ability to use the Force, like they have magic or something. That's like a quick crash course on the Star Wars background. So anyway, continue. Count Dooku joined the Jedi Order and wanted to be one of the good guys that serve the innocent, the good people of the galaxy, and he apprenticed under Master Yoda. After a while, he actually became a Jedi Master himself, and he took an apprentice. His apprentice's name was Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, some of you probably, if you know your Star Wars, you're starting to see the light, a little bit of a light bulb going on here. So let's skip a little bit forward. Let me lay out the lineage for you. For most people who know Star Wars, you know your Darth Vader, you know your Luke Skywalker, you know your Princess Leia Organa, you know your Han Solo. Some of you that come to Star Wars later uh, probably know your uh, uh, newer characters. But if we are going to go by chronological order, it goes something like this. The oldest, one of the oldest, most powerful Jedi ever lived was Yoda. Yoda's apprentice was Dooku. Dooku's apprentice was Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn's apprentice was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Some of you already know who that is. That is the old guy who taught Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker. So uh, Obi-Wan Kenobi go on and he had two apprentices. One was Anakin Skywalker, who later became Darth Vader, one of the coolest characters in Star Wars uh, ever. And then he also taught Anakin Skywalker's son, Luke Skywalker. So if we were to backtrace, Dooku uh, is like the great grand master to Darth Vader, to Anakin Skywalker, or something like that. That gives you an idea of how old this guy is. He is really, really old. But despite his age, Count Dooku has often been said to be one of the deadliest swordsmen in the entire Star Wars history, in the entire galaxy. The only person who's ever bested him in a sword fight was Anakin Skywalker. But that's to be expected because Anakin Skywalker, as I already said, later became Darth Vader, and no one is more cool than Darth Vader. just my opinion. Anyway, so anyway, Count Dooku is right up there with some of the toughest of the tough, some of the best, in the Jedi Order, in the entire Jedi history. Despite his beginning being very noble, being one of the Jedi, Dooku quickly became power hungry and had some dissatisfaction about how things were done in the universe. He had a very extreme and racist outlook in life. To Dooku, the universe is divided into two factions: threat and assets. So you are either friend or enemy. In another word, Dooku became a politician and was very, very high ranking, and he claimed his birthright to be a count on the planet Serrano. And secretly, he started to work and plot against the leadership, and he became one of the key leader of the separatist movement. So basically, he was inciting a civil war, and he was one of the leaders for the bad guys' side. To put it in a more brief and understandable term for those of you that don't really know your Star Wars all that well. I don't know Star Wars all that well, so when I read all this, it kind of gives me a bit of a headache too. I get all confused which faction is supposed to be which faction. So, long story short, there was a civil war that tore the empire apart, uh, and on the one side you have this empire with its uh, soldiers and militaries and Jedi's and the good guys. And on the other hand, you have all these rebels, and they were mostly aliens, dissatisfied with the way they were treated by the Empire. So they were causing trouble and killing people, doing terrorist activities. And on this side, it's mostly led by a bunch of bounty hunters and uh, uh, bad guys. When a Jedi goes bad, a Jedi is called Sith. So Sith is basically evil Jedi. So the Sith ruled the other side of the rebellion, and one of the greatest Sith Lord ever born was Count Dooku. His Sith name is Darth Tyranus. Yeah, Sith Lord all have really cool names. They're like Darth this, Darth that. There's Darth Maul, there's Darth Vader, there's Darth Insidious, and then Darth Tyrannus, and Darth Revan, and all that stuff. So they all have really cool names that start with the word Darth. Honestly, I just really, really like that name. I mean, as if Dooku's resume is not already impressive enough. He's a count, so he's nobility. He's one of the leaders of the rebellion for the evil side. He is a he was a Jedi Master, one of the best ever. He's one of the deadliest swordsmen in the entire galaxy. And on top of that, he has to have a stage name like Darth Tyranus. Like Tyrannus, I don't know, it just makes me think of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is one of the most badass beasts ever lived on Earth. So, when you have a guy named Darth Tyrannus, you know he's not going to be a pushover. And in fact, uh, he was never a pushover. Now, unlike a lot of the other Sith Dark Lords, uh, Dooku didn't overly rely on his threatening swordsmanship or his use of the force or his ability to kill people to get things done. He was a very, very competent leader, a fantastic and wise leader to his people, and a very competent tactician in battle, uh, always able to outthink his enemy and outperform them, outmaneuver them, and very, very devious. On top of that, he was a very good orator, a politician, speaker. He could be extremely charming and diplomatic and civilized and mild-mannered when he's putting his best foot forward. Uh, just like his exterior this action figure may suggest. For the most part, he just looked like an ordinary old guy, maybe someone's grandpa, someone's great grandfather, who's uh, thinking about the well-being of the universe and trying to do the best for his people. That is the Dooku that we see a lot of the time in his appearance in the movies and the animated series. However, no one should ever let that mild and charming personality fool them, because underneath all that is, again, one of the deadliest swordsmen, one of the greatest Jedi Master ever lived. This guy not only uh, can do crazy superhuman things, such as he's able to evade lightning blast from other Jedi and uh, laser fire from blaster pistols from other soldiers, even without his lightsaber. So even without his lightsaber, his reflex is fast enough to evade incoming attacks like that. Like most other Jedi and Dark Lords, uh, Dooku is able to use the Force to accomplish superhuman speed, superhuman strength, and he can fire lightning from his hand to uh, electrocute his enemy. There's also one part of the series where he uses the Force to remotely to crush the base of a watchtower just with his thoughts alone. So the watchtower would collapse on his enemy. He's also been seen dueling Yoda in a sword in a lightsaber duel, which is on its own just like really scary because, like I said, Yoda is the best. Yoda is the oldest, the most ancient, the best, and Dooku was able to almost duel him to a standstill. Uh, so Dooku's badassery, I always say that's not even a word, but I love using that word, uh, goes on and on. It's just too bad he's one of the evil guys and uh, just not very likable for the most part, but uh, it's hard to ignore just how crazy impressive this old guy is. I mean, it is fortunate that his character bio and his background is so impressive because otherwise there's not much to say about this action figure. He doesn't really look like actor Christopher Lee, as I was told, but he does look like Count Dooku, an angry bearded old man, basically. He from the neck down, he's in brown uh, clothes, brown pants, brown boots. He has a fabric cape that actually drapes very nicely around him despite it being fabric. Most of the time fabric materials on action figures don't look that good, but this cape actually looks okay. On his waist, I hope you guys can see it on camera, there is a little curving handle thing. That is his lightsaber. His lightsaber is very distinct from other Jedi's lightsaber in that most other lightsaber, when they're not in use, the hilt looks straight and kind of like just like flashlight. But Count Dooku's lightsaber hilt is curved, very ergonomic, in another word, uh, kind of more like the hilt of old style scimitar or one of those curved bladed swords we see in the uh, Middle East or some regions of Africa, tribes and stuff like that. So I really like that. I like that he has a very unique uh, lightsaber hilt. Uh, But if he only comes with a unique lightsaber hilt, that would that would be anticlimactic. Luckily, you can attach a lightsaber blade to his hilt, and rather than just coming with one blade, he actually comes with two. And it is when you actually put the lightsaber in his hand and start posing this action figure that the figure and Count Dooku actually comes alive in your hand. Despite him looking like a very generic, rundown old guy, when you start posing him, you can get him into a lot of fantastic sword fighting poses. This is him lunging uh, at an invisible enemy from the side, saluting with his lightsaber while sweeping his cloak to the side. And he's using a narrow stance here. As you guys can see, at least I hope you can see, the lightsaber blade here is the standard red blade and it's straight. Just a straight tubular light tube. Basically, that's what lightsabers look like. Uh, he does come with another blade. So to switch the blade, you just pull the blade off of the handle and then plug in the other blade. And here is Dooku sweeping his arm high, holding the lightsaber in both hands, ready to cut down at his enemy, and his much deeper, wide-legged stance. Like I said, this guy can get into a lot of cool sword fighting poses. It's really a lot of fun to display him. Most of the joints are nice and tight, and his joints are functional enough that he can get into a crouch, he can stand on one leg, he can twist and turn, and then he can grab his lightsaber in two hands. And as you guys can see in this shot, we have him with a lightsaber with a different blade. The other blade that's come in is uh, supposed to depict the lightsaber moving through the air. So the blade has a kind of a broad fan shape to it. That's really, really cool. And here is Dooku dropping down to one knee while sweeping his lightsaber at an opponent's leg. Uh, Again, very, very dynamic. This is just a fun, solid action figure of an evil Jedi Master or Sith Dark Lord to play around and pose and put on the shelf. And he's just very, very, very well done. Very well executed. Uh, Great balance, great joints, and the two versions of the blade for the lightsaber is definitely a treat. And if you're not very particular about sticking to the source material, there's no one that says that you can't give him two lightsabers. He comes with two blades, so if you have an extra hilt, you can plug the extra blade into the extra hilt, and he can suddenly end up with two lightsabers. That's really cool too. Like this, I dug up an extra lightsaber hilt from another character, plug the extra blade into it, and voila! Now Count Dooku is a guy with two swords. I mean, after all, it is your toy, it is your action figure. It is all up to your imagination how you wish to display your crazy, mad dictator old man. He's one of the deadliest swordsmen in the galaxy. Who's to say that he can't be wielding two swords at one time if he gets a chance to? In fact, I'm pretty sure he would, just going by the kind of character he is. He is just that crazy and that determined and that dangerous. So in the end, no matter how you slice it, despite looking a little bit boring on the outset, Count Dooku definitely classified as one of the grandpas that aren't afraid uh, to throw down and get their hands dirty. Uh, he is a very successful leader. He is one of the Dark Lords for the rebellions. He is one of the best Jedi ever born and one of the deadliest swordsmen ever walked the galaxy. and he did that all with his advanced age and all that. So definitely someone who, even though is not a very likable character, is definitely a villain, but we can respect him for being that badass when he's that old. Thank you for checking out today's episode. Hopefully, we'll have a New Year's Eve Fitness Friday tomorrow. If not, we'll definitely try to make it up to you on Saturday. We'll think of something to do. Anyway, if I don't speak to you guys tomorrow, have a happy New Year. Oh, and don't forget, tune in tomorrow, and Kitten and I will sing a song for you. Bye now.